So when you allow the Quran to speak for itself, what do you see? Well, generally speaking, you see that the human being, yes, has a body, and the human being has a nafs, a disposition, an ego. The human being has a nafsiyah, a psychological disposition. The human being has a ruh, a soul. The human being has a qalb, a heart. And a function of the qalb is the aql, is the intellect. And the qalb, the taqallub, it wavers. And it has fitan, tribulations, shubuhat and shahawat. It has destructive doubts, and it has blameworthy desires. And we also have a fitra, and that fitra can be clouded based on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he talked about every child is born on this position, but basically his parents change him. So you could use the metaphor of a clouding that happens. Now all of these things are a dynamic interplay. So we can't just zoom in on the aql, on the intellect. We're zooming in on one small aspect of what it means to be human. We have to see the human in its holistic sense as Allah created the human being. And when you focus on the fitrah from that perspective, you would see that one way of unclouding the fitrah is rational arguments, but it's not the only way. For many people, rational arguments may not work. You may have to use a combination of, talking about Allah's names and attributes, spirituality, and a bit of reason. Maybe reason won't work at all. Maybe they need to understand their experiences and unpack their life trauma and get them to stand in the possibility that the meaning that they're giving this particular trauma is not the only meaning, and they should give Allah's meaning to it, which allow them to uncloud the fitrah, to allow them to accept the truth. The point here is we have damaged the dawah, in my way, by overemphasizing on this, because we've had an inferiority complex, because we're living in the West and it's all about reason, so-called reason, and this, that, and the other. And we've been infected by the paradigm. But we should just be brave and say, no, the human being is not just an AI machine that you type in some kind of algorithm expecting certain results. The human being is far more holistic and dynamic than that. But yes, rational arguments may work, but they may not work. Or they may work with a combination of other things. Or you won't need it at all. You may need to focus on other aspects of dawah, like spirituality or direct contact with the Qur'an, or whatever the case may be, to uncloud that fitrah, to allow the human being to accept the truth. And we see this with how the Sahaba converted to this Islam. We see this how the generations of Muslims affirmed Islam and even became Muslim. It wasn't just based on abstract rational argument. Yes, there is a role for that. But the reason I'm mentioning this is because we become very reductionist when it comes to now, and we tap ourselves on the back because of the successes. But I'm a true believer that if you follow the correct way, as per the Quran and the Sunnah, and you follow the correct approach in understanding the human being in the correct way, the way Allah wants us to understand the human being, we will get greater results. And that's the thing with our concept of success. We get a few results when we tap ourselves on the back. But a true, sincere believer should ask, what is it that I did not do that will get greater results?
Absolutely. No, that's a very elaborate answer, but it goes back to understanding the human condition in and of itself, holistically, through the lens of Islam. Islam is the last Sharia revealed. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, today I have perfected your religion and chosen for you Islam. And Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam reiterated this in his final speech, his farewell sermon.